Assalamu alaikum beautiful people, welcome to the class of chemistry. This is Sheharbana and I'm gonna make you learn the lesson in the most easiest possible way. If you like the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and do not forget to press the bell icon. So let's begin. Every morning we wake up and we eat an apple to start our work. Eating apple gives us energy. Not only this, eating apple also makes us happy. There are many benefits of eating apple, but in this video we are not getting deep inside the benefits of an apple because there is whole internet available to tell us that. In this video we will see the internal structure of an apple. An apple is composed of carbohydrates which comprises of small sugar units, for example glucose. Carbohydrates are basically the macromolecules which are formed by the combination of simple sugars. Simple sugars are also known as monosaccharides. There are two types of monosaccharides. The first one are pentoses, 5-carbon sugar, and these are found in DNAs. The other one are hexoses, which are 6-carbon sugars. For example, glucose, galactose, and fructose. And guess what? Fructose is found in our apple. Eating sugars gives us energy and hence eating an apple a day keeps doctor away. Now we will see what our topic describes about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is a combination of two words. Carbo means carbon and hydrate comes from the water. So you can say carbohydrates are composed of carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen. Carbohydrates are the macromolecules which are defined as the polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones. It means that carbohydrates have aldehydes and ketones as a functional group present in them. The general formula for carbohydrates is CnH2ON. It means that there are 2 hydrogen for every 1 carbon atom and oxygen atom. Now we will see the synthesis of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are synthesized by the plants through photosynthesis process from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and green pigment chlorophyll. Here is the chemical equation of the process of the synthesis of carbohydrates. In this equation, the sugar having the formula C6H12O6 is actually the carbohydrate. In this lecture, you will study about the types of carbohydrates which are monosaccharides, disaccharides and polysaccharides. Monosaccharides have 1 sugar molecule, disaccharides have 2 sugar molecules, whereas polysaccharides have many sugar molecules. Now we are going to describe these 3 types in detail. Now we will see the very first type of carbohydrates, which is monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are the simplest sugars. Monosaccharides cannot be hydrolyzed. They consist of 3 to 9 carbon atoms. Therefore, they are classified according to the number of the carbon atoms present in their molecules. For example, trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses, and so on. These names are given on the basis of the number of carbon atoms. For example, for 3-carbon sugar, it is trioses. Hexoses is the most common type of monosaccharides. Glucose and fructose are the most important hexoses. Glucose is a pentahydroxyaldehyde while fructose is pentahydroxyketone having the open chain structure as shown here, and they have general formula C6H12 and O6. Both the sugars are different from each other by having different functional groups. Now we will see some physical properties of monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are white crystalline solids. And we all know crystalline solids are those in which the molecules are arranged in a particular pattern. Monosaccharides are soluble in water, they are sweet in taste, and they cannot be hydrolyzed. They are reducing in nature, therefore these sugars are known as reducing sugars. And we all know reducing species are those who reduce the other species while oxidizing themselves. This is the concept you have studied in the 9th class. Here are some examples of monosaccharides found in our food. For example, glucose is found in honey, fructose is found in fruits, and galactose is found in milk or dairy products. So this is a brief overview about monosaccharides. Now moving ahead towards the second type, which is oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides gives 2 to 9 units of monosaccharides on hydrolysis. Therefore, they are classified as disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides, and so on, depending upon the number of the units they produce on hydrolysis. The most important oligosaccharides are disaccharides, like sucrose. On hydrolysis, sucrose produces 1 unit of glucose and 1 unit of fructose, as you can see in this equation. In the presence of dilute HCl or hydrochloric acid, and when heat is provided to sucrose having water in it, the sucrose will be broken down into glucose and fructose. Hence, it is proved that oligosaccharides can be hydrolyzed. Now we will see some physical properties of oligosaccharides. These are also white crystalline solids like monosaccharides. These are soluble in water. They are sweet in taste, but they may be reducing or non-reducing. Here you can see another example of oligosaccharide, which is raffinose. It is a combination of galactose, glucose, and fructose. These 3 small sugars combine together repeatedly to give raffinose, which is an oligosaccharide. It is a trisaccharide because it is composed of 3 small units. Oligosaccharides are found in bananas, sugar beet, artichokok, which is also known as adrak, and they are also found in some bacteria like lactobacillus. So these are some daily life examples in which oligosaccharide exist. Now moving ahead towards the last type, which is polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are the macromolecular carbohydrates consisting of hundreds to thousands of monosaccharides. These are also known as complex form of carbohydrates. The most common polysaccharides are starch and cellulose. Here in this diagram, you can see that starch is composed of hundreds to thousands of glucose molecules. A small section of starch is being zoomed to see inside the starch. Now we will see the physical properties of polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are amorphous solids, and we all know that in amorphous solids, the molecules are not arranged in a particular pattern. Polysaccharides are tasteless sugars. They have no taste. They are insoluble in water, and they are non-reducing sugars. So these are some physical properties of polysaccharides. Now we will see some daily life examples in which polysaccharide exist. For example, we can find polysaccharides in bread, in cereals, in pasta, in rice, in potatoes, in bees, and in cheese nuts. So these are some common example or daily life food example in which polysaccharides are found. Now we will see some fun facts about polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are also known as glycanes. In polysaccharides, the anomers are linked with the help of alpha and beta linkage. Anomers are the cyclic form of the sugars. If the hydroxyl group on carbon 1 is attached below the ring, this gives you the alpha linkage of that anomer. Whereas if that OH group is attached above the ring, it will gives you the beta linkage. And interestingly, we can only digest alpha linkage anomer polysaccharides. Now we will see some sources of carbohydrates. The sources of simple carbohydrates, so you can say monosaccharides, are sugars, honey, milk, apple, and maize. In sugars, we have saccharose. In honey, we have fructose. In milk, we have galactose. In apple, we have glucose and fructose as well. In maizes, we have mannose. Now, we will see some examples of disaccharide carbohydrates. Disaccharides are sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Sucrose is found in sugar beet, sugarcane, and fruits. Lactose, consisting of glucose, and galactose is the main sugar in milk and dairy products. Maltose is a disaccharide of 2 glucose molecules which is found in cereals. Now we will see some sources of polysaccharides, and we all know that polysaccharides are starch and cellulose. So here are some examples of starchy food, which is bread, cereals, pasta, rice, potatoes, beans, chestnuts, etc. The other one type of polysaccharides are cellulose, and cotton is pure cellulose. So cotton is the only example which is described in your book that this is the main source of cellulose, which is a type of polysaccharides, and polysaccharides is a type of carbohydrates we have just studied. So these are the sources of carbohydrates. Now we will see the uses of carbohydrates. Our body uses carbohydrates in the form of glucose. Glucose is the only form of carbohydrates that is used directly by the muscles for energy. It is important to note that brain needs glucose as an energy source because it cannot use fat for this purpose. Besides these, carbohydrates regulates the amount of sugar level in our blood. Low sugar level in our body results in hypoglycemia, whereas higher sugar level in our body results in hyperglycemia. In this diagram, you can see these 2 blood sugar disorders found in a human body. Moving ahead towards another use, that carbohydrates provide essential nutrients for bacteria in intestinal tract that helps in the digestion. To feed the bacteria present in our intestine is very much important. Dietary fibers, which are also the type of carbohydrates, helps to keep the bowel functioning properly. Here in this animation, you can see that how the bile moved throughout the intestinal tract. Furthermore, these fibers helps in regulating the blood pressure, and they also lowers the cholesterol level. Carbohydrates also protects our muscles from cramping. You might have observed this type of cramps in your legs or in your arms. It actually gives us signal to eat carbohydrate-enriched meal. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and do not forget to press the bell icon for latest updates. And if you have any question related to this video, you can ask in the comment section below. I will try to reach you as soon as possible. Thank you so much.